Welcome to the Excel Purpose Show with Counselor.
Today we have June here. Okay, I met you from this marketing conference, like at the beginning of the year, and it's been months now. This is the first time we're connecting, so welcome. I'd love to dive into see what you do. From my perspective, you're like an IG guru plus AI expert. That's my perception. We'll dive in and find out.
Yeah, I would say that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. So hey, tell me, which is are they both like integrated, or do you like one more than the other?
Oh, they're not integrated at all. Actually, you will never know that I'm into AI just from my Instagram, because my Instagram is more for like sponsorships, like, doing like ads for different type of big brands and stuff, which is not completely not related to AI. And my other business, which is teaching people about AI, chat GPT prompts, and doing the workflow, creating content, creating videos with AI, and coaching people about email marketing. That's my real business. But just for fun, I also do sponsorship for Instagram. And so it's one of those things where you cannot post different things on Instagram, like you lose the audience.
Right. Yes, I have noticed that. I am so guilty of that. Because in Insta, you should really keep to one thing rather than confuse your audience with like.
Yeah, they would be confused. They want to know why. What are you posting? They wouldn't know your brand. They wouldn't know what you stand for. And so if you, do promos one day and do another promo, and they'll be like, "What the heck is this?" And yeah.
Yes. So wait, from your perspective, because like I don't know much about you, and I'm taking to find out, right? Do you actually stick with one pillar across different platforms? So if I look at your Facebook or TikTok or something, would I find the different aspects of where your expertise lie?
Yeah, actually is very different on all different platforms.
Yeah.
It's like for Facebook, it is AI because I'm running ads, and I only only the pixel. I only want that. I don't want anything else related to my promotional life and all that. Yeah, so then on YouTube, it's mainly email marketing and recently talking about AI.
Right.
So yeah, it's for all platforms.
That's so good to know. I need that to rub off on me, because this is the process I'm working towards now. I'm confusing my audience. I need to like streamline to channel. And you did this so well. How long have you been on this this journey, this entrepreneur journey?
I would say 10 years, but
wow.
I wasn't.
Yeah.
But I wasn't doing exactly what I was doing. Like I mean, I started actually doing modeling and acting, and then and then pageants and all that, and then I wanted to do behind the scenes stuff.
That's where the model thing come from. That's why you have the top model.
Yeah, it's silly now thinking about it.
Why is it silly? It's awesome. Wait, tell me about the modeling life. I want to know. What was that like?
It's it's crazy. Like you meet all different type of people, and interesting enough, for any viewers want to hear this, normally you think in the modeling world, girls get taken advantage of, right?
Yeah, right.
Something like that.
That's the imagine. Yeah,
right, like the casting couch and all that horror stuff about it. But if you and because I wanted to be a model for the longest time, I moved to New York, where is the modeling capital of the United States. And then you are, so if you're in New York and you model, it's the guys that get taken advantage of.
Really?
Yeah, so it's something that if you ever, it's usually when I tell stories, like people say, "Wow, that's really interesting."
Wait. When you say get taken advantage of, what are we talking about? We're talking like not money. We're talking like touchy-feely stuff, right?
Yeah, it's all different. Like money-wise, like agents wanting to trying to sleep with you, fashion directors trying to going to your dressing room when you're changing. And,
this is both girls and guys?
This mainly a lot of guys. Guys deal with that a lot more in New York.
As in a guy will get both girls and guys approaching them to be taken advantage of?
No, it's more guys. I mean, because the
like
fashion,
guy to guy, because there's a lot of. Am I allowed to say they're gay? Like, is that offensive to you? Is there a lot of them in the modeling world? That's why.
You know homosexuals, yes.
Okay, yeah, that's probably the better terminology.
Yeah.
I'm like, do I have to censor myself?
You have to beep it out. Yeah, it's
Well, I'm gonna get like politically correct.
right. So because the fashion industry is filled with basically gay people.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then some are nice, and obviously some with
Yeah.
power, they don't care, they're gonna abuse it. And that's just one side of it. And then there's the other side, which is the pageant, like the beauty pageant industry, which is something that I also did, which is, oh my God, like every organizer out there that is does male pageants, most of them are like gay. And they really try to take
do
advantage.
you swing that way at all?
No, I'm into girls.
I never
Yeah.
assume, right? I don't
Yeah,
feel
that's
like
right.
any. I kind of think people are just on a spectrum. It's not like
Right.
I don't really see people as purely like 100% one way, right? But like you're like you're like kind of like I'm like really highly uninterested at all.
Right, I'm totally heterosexual, like not
So what got you interested in modeling though? Like that's not a typical traditional
um
male thing, right? Like they'll be like, I want to be a fireman, I want to be a policeman or something. Where did
yeah,
modeling come from?
it's when this is so
Or was that to get girls?
Wh- I actually got into because one of my friends was a model slash actor, and I was driving him around meeting with agencies in San Francisco, and then so in one time I just went up into the meeting, and then the agent looked at me and says, "Hey, you could be a model if you lost 10 pounds." I was like,
Oh,
so it just came off from there, and then he was like,
oh.
"Oh, if you ever lost 10 pounds, let me know. I'll give you opportunities." And I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna stop eating rice, mom, dad."
Like carbohydrate.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. Like just opportunities like that. It's
Yeah.
interesting. That took you to a completely different trajectory then. What
Right.
were you doing prior to that opportunity coming up?
I was actually working for a corporate like bioscience.
Is that
Bioscience.
your background in
That's
bioscience?
my main background, right? Yeah.
That just goes to show what we study in uni. It's like
Oh yes. Oh right.
college, I think you guys
Yeah, I
call
was
it.
supposed to be pre-med, and you're thinking like, oh, I'm gonna be a
Also,
doctor.
you went full tradition, like you were aiming for like the doctor science route.
Yeah. Everyone thought I was gonna be a doctor. I turned out to be such a disappointment.
Oh my God, you totally sway on the other side, man.
Right. Well, it's a experience. It's a process, right? I feel like everyone who wants to start a business should go through somewhere of that process where
Wait. How did your parents take it? Or did they never found out?
no, they found out. It was my boss at work who didn't found out until later because I couldn't tell her that every lunch break I was going lunch breaks I was going to auditions. Yeah, and she had no idea. Until I showed up in like a brochure, and she was like, "That's you, right?" I was like, "Oh, I don't know."
Wow.
Yeah,
That's so fun. You just live like double life.
yeah, Batman.
Daytime, nighttime, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, so it just went through from the modeling and acting stuff to
Yeah.
pageants, and then meeting different parts of it, and then realizing I want to be more behind the scenes, the business side of it, and then slowly transition from all that into
Well, I'm
start.
curious though, when you're like on magazines and stuff, like obviously when girls are on magazine, it feels like, I don't know if it's true, that, a lot of guys will be after them because, they're on the covers and stuff. When the guys are on there, do you get hit on by girls or do you just get hit on by more guys?
I do get hit on by girls. Yeah,
But there's the benefit of that, you still get that benefit, even though you get kind of taken advantage of at the same
yeah, right. It's more like on social media, like if they see your ad and all that. Because if you're just on a magazine, they wouldn't know where to find you. But
yeah, right.
but it's like but like I had this one and that because I was on this show a while ago called Orange is the New Black. And
Yeah, I
then
know that show.
oh great, yeah, and then so this one fan went through the credits, found out my character, found out my name.
You were on that show? I didn't watch it enough to. Well, even if I saw the episode, I wouldn't have known it was you at the time.
Right, probably not. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, so they like you have fans who like find you, and then they will contact you on Facebook and follow you on Instagram and all that. Yeah, but
That's kind of fun. Run me through the mindset of that. Like, that's not the life that I live. Like, I'm just wondering, like, how does, because it's one thing, like everyone kind of like, oh, I want to be famous, want to be movie stars, like, those things. And then when it happens, like when you see yourself on the magazine cover, when you see yourself in a show, what is that feeling like? And then do you just get over it really quickly? Is it as glamorous as it feels? Like what to run me through?
sure. Yeah. Well, you face all the spectrum of the feelings because in the beginning, when you're in the industry, you're just working really hard for auditions. You're just trying to get an opportunity, and it's like once you know, get on a show, do a runway show, on a magazine, do a commercial, and all that. Yeah, that feeling is great, but it doesn't last. And then you're back to square one, and you have to audition again. And I mean, and you have to, go to more modeling casting calls. And then it's just people remember you just for that like one thing that you did. And then even though it's like an entrepreneur, like this overall success, overnight success, where people think, oh, we don't know you, and suddenly you're making $1 million. Oh wow, one overnight success. It's like no, it's like it took years of planning and work, and then you finally get that one whatever you call it, 5 minutes of fame, and then it's over, and then you have to chase the next one and chase the next one. Yeah, and it's I think that's one of the reasons why I think I got my sales training. It's not being afraid to get rejected, because you get rejected so much that you just don't care anymore.
Ooh, that is true, because you're getting rejected based on pretty much face values, like straight up, right?
Yeah, all the superficial things.
Yeah.
Like you're too tall, you're too short, you're too skinny, you're not right, and your nose is not right. Oh, you have a square jaw. We're doing a fashion editorial. We can't have that. And all kind of like very subjective things where if you don't have a thick skin, you'll feel like there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
And like if you cannot book a job, you feel like what's wrong with me? Like and you constantly have to deal with that insecurity. So
Wow,
yeah,
that's a pretty crazy ride. That's a pretty crazy. Did you fall into any like really dark times doing that? Or were you pretty resilient and like headstrong?
I would consider myself pretty resilient. Like I knew what I was getting into. However, just for the record, it's interesting that it's when you're at the weakest where the most creepiest opportunities come. Like when I was when you're doing well, like you're doing like really well, but like just booking some jobs here and there, you wouldn't have random opportunities. It's only when you've been trying to book a job, doing a commercial for like a couple of weeks, and you have no jobs. Suddenly, out of nowhere, you'll receive like literally phone messages saying, "Hey June, we noticed you're a model, and we have a bathhouse that we just opened up, and no pressure, but we could, if you would like to give a massage, a client's willing to pay you $500 for an hour of your time, and if it goes further than that, you have a say to whatever you want to stop."
Did you take it up?
No, obviously not. No, it's just I find it so interesting. It's just your weakest point when you have these opportunities to really screw up your life.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of funny and interesting. Okay, so from there, what happened then? How did you get into entrepreneurial life? You're like, okay, I've done enough of do you do any modeling work anymore? You're like, no.
Still, yeah, I do sometimes. But most of the jobs I get right now is more through Instagram, because like different brands will contact me, because it's more than just the face or more
Yeah.
from the promotional ability,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Basically helping them create content, helping them content that is good enough to be ads. So I still do that, but I transitioned from the performance part of it into the more strategic side of it, which is like helping big brands create ads.
Well,
Like
how do you get into that? Like, I don't know that many people in my space that does that. I find that quite interesting. I probably only know like 2 other people other than you that does like heavily IG promotion and having like sponsors and stuff. How do people get into that business?
well, it's so let's see. I actually had a sponsorship academy, and I was selling ebooks and courses about that. But
Oh,
basically, basically having a profile that shows your ability to promote. It's kind of like a resume, right? So different sponsors, you always start small, no name brands that just that have less followers than you, and then they'll find you, or you can contact them, and then when you show them that, hey, I actually can promote your products other than just saying, hey, followers, today I have a water bottle, and go follow them, go like them. It's only $10, and no, right? That's
right.
not what you do.
Like
But when
you just put out interesting content in like be creative about how you can share that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and then you get a list going, like it's just like any resume. You work with one client and you help them generate this amount of sales and leads and all that, and then other people come to you and you have what's called a media package where you can show them, okay, I have this amount of followers, I can do this amount of things, and then you can also contact other brands too.
Yeah. How do you directly attribute that to yourself though? Like, is it very specific links so that they know that traffic came from you, or?
Well, it depends for different types of promotions, but sometimes you'll get a link that you'll promote, and I always tell my students that you're not there to sell a product, you're there to sell a brand. That's why most people feel like, oh, I don't know how to promote products, I don't know how to sell. And it was like, no, it's you're promoting the brand, you're promoting their experience, you're promoting everything they're about. Your job is not to sell. If you try to force it, that's not going to work. So sometimes it's links, and sometimes it's hashtags, sometimes it's just content that goes viral. Like when during the pandemic, I was doing a sponsorship deal with Barcati, and they actually flew me out to Barcati's headquarters in what was it, Puerto Rico, and then so that's where I created the content, and then went back and then posted online, and then got them online sales, and then they took my content and turned it into ads.
Oh wow, that's cool. That's pretty cool to see your own stuff goes into like the global ads.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
nice. Is that what you mostly sell, like on your IG? That's the course that you sell to teach people doing that?
I stopped selling that course, right?
Okay.
I went in the completely different direction, but that's just, yeah,
What
because just
what do you sell now, like as part of your IG? Like what can people learn from you if they want to learn? Because you do so many things. I'm like, I don't know what he does.
yeah, that's actually the problem, right? I actually trying to build other IGs, but because I still do promotional stuff, that's why I never changed that account.
Yeah.
But actually there is a link talking about AI in there. But
Yes.
but specific for Instagram, I do basically like influencer promotions.
Oh, so IG, you don't teach people that aspect. You still take on the sponsorship jobs, but that's just between you and the sponsors.
Right.
But you're mainly focused on AI now.
Right, that's my other side of the business. Right.
Yeah. Okay. Tell me about the AI. What can, like, there's so many things, man. Like, there's so many things on AI. It's like,
right. So what
do
the
you
way
feel is the thing that like we must know?
Sure, absolutely, yeah. So the way the community that I built for my small ticket, medium ticket to high ticket clients, it's always similar to what Pinju talks about, which is offer funnel traffic and follow up. So I'm a huge follow up person. I actually started with email marketing. That was my passion. Just writing emails, triggering emotions, making them feel like, wow, this email is written to me, even though it's sent out to thousands and thousands of people.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't until 2 years ago, right? November 2022 of November, where ChatGPT dropped. And then that's when you have a decision to make. Still doing the same thing or take on AI? Because if you are still doing the same thing, you're immediately replaced, right?
Yes.
Because if you're still teaching copywriting, if you're still selling courses on how to do email marketing,
so slow, and it doesn't sound as good.
yeah, right. Person can right away blow you out of the water, destroy your by say, hey, you know what, AI can do it. You don't even have to be a master. You don't even have to know anything. Here's the prompt. Go do it. Right.
Yeah,
So
it's like I can't think of some of that stuff. It's like I could sit there for a whole hour and try to write the best thing from my head, and it's like, nope, it did not sound better than that ChatGPT.
yeah, and as a copywriter, it takes years to master that skill. It's
Right,
being on,
yeah.
like a storyteller and really get inside your customer's mind.
But
The
they
words
used to make so much money, copywriters. So it's like $10,000 to like write, like a page or something, and it's like a landing page copy. Then it's like suddenly, nope, that job is gone.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So So for AI, I know a lot of people teach us AI, like just AI content creation. The biggest niche right now is AI content creation. Basically, using AI to create content. A lot of people just create content. They're not using content to drive traffic to anything. It just create content because they're just so many people are just happy to get likes, comments, and shares and followers
Yeah.
that they don't even think about, okay, now that I have followers, how am I going to make money from that? Right? It becomes that vanity metric, like
Yes.
just like on Instagram. The amount of followers does not equal how much money you make. Oh my God. There are like accounts that has millions of followers that actually don't make money. It's just for fun.
Yeah, right. But like attention is the currency now, so
Yeah.
it's just whether they flip the switch and go, okay, I should start monetizing this.
Right. Yes. Right. And because it's a lot easier to grow on Instagram than YouTube, so that's what people do, just creating content. So one thing is content. Obviously, the other one is AI image creation. Like I teach a course on MidJourney, and
Yeah.
so that's like growing really fast.
Cool. I love MidJourney. Like
Oh, you do?
my
All right.
mind was blown when I first used MidJourney. I was like, holy shit, it can do what? Like
Yeah,
I
infusing.
literally had that mind blown thing. I'm like, no, it cannot do that. I was like, that is crazy. Like, because I imagine the scenario of not having it, right? And you're asking like a graphic artist to do it. And
Yeah.
it's like you don't like something about it. But it's like every tweak, it's gonna take that guy like hours to turn it around. And like literally you get MidJourney to turn it around in like the next 30 seconds. Like, holy shit, what?
Yeah, variations of it, upscale, variation of this, change a little bit of
That's
that.
so
I don't.
good.
I want her to be wearing a blue dress now, not a red dress, and right. Yeah.
Do you still think MidJourney is the best out of, because there's been so many
Yeah. I still do.
Yeah.
There are Dali and there's Runway and
Yeah.
and there's like some people who like Leonardo because it's cheap and it's free and I always says that like
Yeah, but MidJourney was free for so long before it started
yeah,
charging, right?
they don't have to charge anymore. Yeah,
Huh?
I consider them the best, and
Yeah.
they started charging because they don't have to make it free anymore.
Yeah, and there's so much traffic, right? It makes sense to charge. Actually, by the time they charge, I was pretty happy to pay for it. I was like, I feel like they deserve that money, right? For what you get is actually pretty cheap.
Right. You know what? If you really like MidJourney, I'll have this guide that I can send over to you, like a prompting guide to show you.
Oh, I
what
love
pro-
it.
Yeah,
Yes,
I'll send it to
please.
you. If you really like AI image, yeah, I think you really like that.
Okay, cool. A guide. Yes.
Yeah.
Something we can, with something for the rest of the listeners, or it's like a private
Oh
thing.
yeah, sure. I obviously, so for my business model is I sell the prompts and I sell the strategy with the prompts, right? It's most people feel like, oh, AI is not good, it's too robotic, it's
It's
not
because they're
quite
not
there.
putting the right prompt in. You're right. It's
Wow.
like input in, crap input, crap output, right?
Yeah, exactly, right. And so it's besides the prompt, it's also the strategy of using the prompts, right? It's also like I could just give you an entire master prompt right now that can take care of your entire business. Like right now, at this second, I can do that. But then it's up to you to figure out what should you be doing. Like, how do you control AI now that AI knows about your business? What's the next step and what you should be focusing on? Because AI does not know what to focus on, right?
Yes.
It's the
We still got
strategy.
to be the driver. It's like you're not leaving your decision making to the machine, right?
Right. Yeah, and it's only after you've been chatting with it long enough. I'm using AI's new feature, which is the memory feature. You know, using custom instructions that it start to understand more about what you actually like
Yes.
and what your style is. And I always tell my students, if you don't have a style, there's no excuse. You can go up online and copy Oprah Winfrey's article and then put it into AI and says, hey, create content like this, and then refine it with these prompts, and then boom, like you can just create content like Oprah Winfrey, and then you can do combinations and like add. Okay, let's say we want to create Oprah Winfrey's content, but speak in the style of Gary Vee, speak in the style of Stephen King, and then now you will have literally a month worth of content done for your blog, Instagram post, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and it's Oprah's content about happiness, but spoken in a very creepy, dark style from Stephen King.
Yeah.
Right,
And that makes it interesting, right? Because that is the unique piece. It's like it's already proven valuable content that people enjoy, but now it's like morphed in a way that hopefully takes into your own voice as well. Like I hope when people do this, it's like they're also uploading their own content so that their own voices mesh in it, whilst taking, you know, these great pieces from the leaders before us.
Right, and you can it's like people forget that it is chat GPT, not one chat or one answer GPT. You chat with it to refine it. Like the easiest thing to help a person chat better with AI is just tell AI, once you put in a prompt and AI comes up with the content, you just tell AI, hey, I like these stuff, I don't like these stuff. Give me more of these stuff and don't give me these stuff. That's like the most quickest way to start training AI.
Hey, how do you keep as much memory as possible? I noticed there are some chats that I've ran out of memory, and it might be something you just adjust in the back. Where do you talk the most? Do you use ChatGPT the most? Like when it
yes.
comes, yeah.
Obviously the new
Because I
turbo.
started using Gemini as well, because it seems to remember certain things better. But I don't know how much it retains. I think it was because I kind of broke my chat GPT for a little bit. Because you know how certain chats, you can only talk to it as much as, it goes, there's a ceiling. Well, a normal user has a ceiling. And then you have to start a new chat. And when it starts a new chat, it forgets the chat from the previous chat. How do I fix that?
So right now, like I said, there's a memory option. So you go to settings and you go to let me see. You go to settings and it's custom instructions. And then so you go see. Okay, so under settings, there's personalization.
Yeah.
And then you can turn memory on and off. And then
Oh, is there?
yeah, you find it?
I'm
So
opening it now.
yeah, so find your profile, go to settings,
Okay.
then go to personalization, and then you can see that there's a memory that you can toggle on and off. And then right below it, there's manage, and then that is where
Oh, yeah, no, my memory is already on.
okay, so if your memory is on, it should remember most of what you talk about. But if you click on manage, this is the section in which you tell them give specific custom instructions.
Oh yeah, I've done that. I've given it custom instructions.
Okay, so
I've
this is
given it things like talk to me like a Tom Billieu, but like and mix of Gary Vee and be witty like this person. Like I fed it different things on how I want it to talk to me, and I give it the instructions like I want you to hit me with the why, so that before you tell me the what and the how kind of thing. So I have over time laid out certain things.
okay, yeah. Well, that's one of the first things to do. So
I just realized that it banks a lot of memory on its own though. I've never opened this.
right, it does. And also
But it
if
remembers a lot of things.
it does, right. So one of the things is because it does not know what to keep in this memory, you will
Oh,
have
we need to clear it. That's why.
yeah.
Some of the things, like things that you have asked for that you may not want to know. I'm scrolling through it now and I'm like, oh, there's some stuff that I don't need.
That's right. That's outdated or is no longer.
Ah, okay. No, that's good to know. I should go through that and clear that.
Yeah, you should, because then once you make it more concise, it will
Yeah.
just follow it. But once you have more and more, it's not gonna remember all that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, maybe I've chewed up the memory in there. I need to discard some memory and then put in more precise ones that I want it to remember.
That's right.
Okay,
Yeah.
good tip. What else?
So yeah, so whenever I'm talking about AI, I'm always thinking about, okay, how do you make money with AI? Right? I feel like that's much more interesting and more relevant, productive topic to talk about AI. It's like, okay, how do you make money for them? Well, you can AI power offers,
Yeah.
right? And it's either you using AI to improve your offers, do market research so that you know what people are searching for, you know what your like I have one master prompt where it tells you you're trying to sell this item to this type of people. Okay, these are the reason why people are not buying. And these are the reason why people will want to buy. And these are the problem that you're solving. So once you put that in, then that's called market research, right? In like in a snap of a finger, you can have market research, and then from that you can create lead magnets, to get leads, right? And then create the second part is the funnel, the funnel copy. I don't know if do you use ClickFunnels?
I don't use it as much, but I have an account.
Because you use sales process right now,
I
right?
use sales process right now, but I do have a ClickFunnels account, and recently, because they made some updates to ClickFunnels, I am re-looking back at it because I think they've made it a bit easier for the user now.
Yeah, it's like supposed to be ClickFunnels 2.0, right?
Yeah. The
Yeah.
2.0 kind of sucked, but recently they've introduced frameworks and Barnum PT, which can copy frameworks from one person and share it, like different aspects of it. Like, before it couldn't do it. So, and they automated some stuff. So I've yet to actually test it out.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I brought it up because I was part of the ClickFunnels group community.
Yeah.
So then I got this book. It's like the swipe files. So then what simple can do is just
Wait, is that a Russell Brunson book or someone else's book?
It's a Russell Brunson book. It's Funnel.
I've never seen him hold this book.
Oh, because it's a private community. Like you can see this, you can't buy it anywhere. There's no barcode.
Oh, that's why I was going. I haven't seen him promote that book. It's a special book.
Yeah, you're probably seeing this book, right?
Well, I have though. I have that set. Yeah, it's here next to my desk.
Yeah. So I bring this up is because most people they're wondering how to train their AI to write copy.
How do I get my hands on that book?
You have to contact ClickFunnels and join their community.
I am in the community. Do I have to be in the inner circle or what?
Yeah, something like that. Like the Funnel Hacking Live. Sometimes they hand this out.
I'm in Funnel Hacking Live. I'm going there in February.
Well, ask them. Ask them for it.
What is it called? Swipe file?
Yeah, it's just called the 74 funnel swipe file.
You reckon I should just send a support call and ask for it?
Yeah, I don't know if they give it to you. I have no promises, but yeah.
Okay. You don't have a soft copy, right?
Huh?
You have a soft copy?
Yeah. Well, I mean, what do you mean by? Yeah, I mean it's soft.
Do you have an electronic copy?
No, I have not scanned this entire thing.
No. Okay. Do they normally only distribute it in hard copy, like a physical book?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That might be a bit hard to get the hands on. Okay.
So it's like, so when you want to create copy that sells, right? Yeah. It's most people wonder how do we do that with AI? So now it's mainly two things, which is using proven frameworks, right? Like if you're doing copywriting, you say, okay, use the PAS framework to sell this item to this person, right? Using framework. And the other one is why I'm showing you this book, which is use proven examples. Scan this, put it into AI, says, hey, I want to build a funnel just like this. This funnel is selling this. Now I want to sell this. So use, and then what you do is you say, from what I just given you, analyze the copywriting, the emotional triggers, the psychology of the framework that's used, analyze all that, the words, and then tell me what's using. And then AI says, oh, it's using these things. Then it says, okay, use now, since you told me that it's using these things, now help me create my own funnel.
Yeah,
right. So right. Step by step thing, right?
That's smart.
Took me a while. I mean, I actually have a small team that I'm building to get this done and to really create prompts and all that for my community. So yeah, so that's why
I was using it probably less detailed than you. So I was feeding it through to like use the perfect webinar structure, because how it's like the one big domino and then there's like the three things.
Yes, right? Yes. I love talking about webinars. Yeah.
Yeah. Your internal belief, your external belief, which is like the thing we need to basically knock down, right? And then
yes.
Similar line of thoughts, but I feel like you've taken it to possibly a next level, because you're getting it to analyze each of the specific bits, and it might be able to give better output from it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. It's just basically using it in a way in which a human person will never be able to do it to you, at least in a timely manner. Right. Just thinking about.
Yeah. Like a human to slowly go through
right.
to decipher that.
Yeah. It explains to you what strategy is using and why it's using it, where they got that strategy from. and then taking that and then says, okay, now apply it to mine.
Yeah. Interesting.
So are you doing?
When you extract that, when you go, where is it coming from? Does it actually ever pinpoint it back to like, oh yeah, that's from like a Dan Kennedy, blah blah blah, or does it go to that level?
It depends, right? Sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. Right now, if you're whenever I'm using ChatGPT 4.0, Turbo, it actually tends to tell you, like send you even links to it. But if it doesn't, as long as you connect it online, you just tell me, okay, give me a case study of this, or give me a works cited, show me where it was used. Don't just tell me.
Oh, yeah.
But
So you want to get them to point you to the actual example, like a live website.
Right. Yeah.
Interesting. I haven't tried that.
Yeah, it's just different type of nitty-gritty things, right?
Is that where you spend a lot of your time building funnels?
No. This is just a small part of it. Actually,
This is a small part of it.
Right.
No. Yeah.
Actually, I spend a lot of time just doing live events, doing the challenges that we met, like similar challenges. And
hey, how often do you run your events?
I used to do it like once a month, but now I'm getting my ads to work really well, and so yeah, I'm doing like twice a month now.
You run events once every 2 weeks. Man,
Yes.
man, I need to take a chapter from you guys. Like, when I'm so inspired by you guys, like, the guys that are here, that's like, oh yeah, I'm running like, because like Justin was like running them like once every week or something, right? It's like, what? Like he ran like 200 of them or something.
Right.
And you run them like once every 2 weeks. It's like, man.
Yeah, I could do it. I could actually do more, but see, it's just depending on what business model, because obviously I do the event, right? So I have a VIP experience, right, which is like $97, and then before the event happens, I'm selling that, and then when the event happens, by the way, my event is about 4 hours long, and that's it. It's not like a 3-day event. It's not a 5-day event. I know like some people like they do like 3-day, 5-day. I don't like that at all. I feel like
But you feel like the 4 hours is enough time to convert?
yeah, it's enough to
like for cold audience too? Because you said you're running ads, right? So they're cold audience.
yes, right. So so
You must be very tight in your. Is it like you've done? How many times have you done that event now?
that's specifically AI. That event it's coming 24 times.
24 times.
Yeah.
I love that. So okay, if for anyone that's like thinking about it, it's kind of like, okay, if you did it like 20 times, you'll basically know it well enough. Like it's choreographed, right? Like it's like,
yeah, exactly. Everything's choreographed.
Look, and you've done it to a T. Like, so about 20 something times, would you say about 20 times is when you were able to get enough iteration that you can choreograph it well enough that you're like, I'm happy with all these pieces about that?
I don't think you even need to get to 20. I think it's about more like 15 or 20.
15? Okay. So aim for like, okay, after about a dozen, you should be pretty smooth.
Right. You should.
That's actually pretty inspiring. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot, and yet it's not that. It's not unachievable. Like it's within reach.
Yes, absolutely. And it's also in the beginning, my advice is always start small, right? In the beginning, just do a webinar, just do a 90-minute webinar, right?
Yeah.
But the reason why webinar, at least for me and my experience working with different clients, it doesn't convert as well anymore because everyone's heard of webinar, right? And then so Pedro from the ClickFunnels community, he kind of does the challenges thing, and then he made it a lot more popular. So there's more people using challenges. And then, but now people are getting tired of that word challenge. So now people are using the word sprint. But it's pretty much it's all the same thing. Come on, it's all the same thing. It's just
we just need a fresh label every now and then so we feel trendy.
Exactly. So it feels like it's something new, but it's just like a sales presentation, right? So instead of like a couple of days, it's just 4 hours, and it's 3 hours of teaching and 1 hour selling. Right.
Yeah.
And so in the middle is what I really enjoy, which is what I give feedback to different businesses. Like they will tell me their business plan, what did they sell, who did they sell to, what is the pain points, and I'll give them live feedback.
Oh, awesome.
And so
so you're very educational to make sure okay, you're giving value during it and people can see
Yeah,
it.
right. Because I find that the real secret to selling, and I feel like I want to share, even though it's like a secret, but I think that I'm so happy to share it simply because the secret of selling is just saying the words, which is, you know what, this is not a boring webinar. This is a challenge. I'll do it with you. I'm not going to teach you the what. I'm going to actually do the how with you. I'm going to teach you
That's
the what,
interesting.
the
Yeah.
why.
Yeah.
And I'm teaching you how to fish. I'm gonna fish with you, and I'm gonna give you fish because during the event I'll be giving you some prompts to work with, and then at the end you just decide, do you want to continue figuring it out yourself or do it with me next week? Next week I have another live event where I'm only doing it for my VIP members. I only have 5 spots, so sign up. Right? It's that
Yeah.
the transition becomes so much smoother that at the end you really don't feel like selling. Like in the beginning, I know like there's been studies done that when you do a webinar, like the first the first half of the webinar, the person's really high energy. Hey, what's up, guys? We're gonna learn this, change the world. And then once they get to the sales part, they're like, okay, guys, I have an offer. Is it okay if I have an offer? So step one, you'll get this, and the energy goes down.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah. When people do the stack, it's like, oh, here,
yeah,
here it comes. It's like
yeah,
no one wants to hear it, even themselves.
right. Yeah, you just have to get through that, which is it's just making this transition smooth.
Do you still
You're
do a stack?
yeah, absolutely. You
Yeah.
have like after doing it for a while, you have to do a stack. I mean, that's my opinion.
Psychologically, it just works.
Yeah, because they need to know what they're getting. They need to know what they're getting, and mainly it's like, so a regular person would do the stack like, okay, number one you get this book, number two you get this book, number three you get this book, right? But what really worked for a stack is, okay, so everything that we covered today, you can do it yourself or do it with me. So if you want to choose to do it with me, next week we're doing it. So the very first thing, you're gonna get this. Why are you gonna get this? We're gonna do this because we just covered it 3 hours. We're gonna do this. Now, once we have done, once you have step one done, what other problems do you think you're gonna have? I solve those problems. So that is what the second product is for.
Yeah.
And once you have solved that problem, guess what? Once you have that, okay, let's see. Once you figure out the funnel problem, you're gonna have the expert problem. Once you have the expert problem, you're gonna have the traffic problem.
Yeah.
And then you say the one line that I think really helps convert, which is running a business is just about solving problems. Once you start making 5K per month, you're gonna have 5K problems. Once you start making 10K, you're gonna have 10K problems.
Yeah.
And then so who here wants to make 10K? If you want to make 10K, join me next week. I'll help you solve this problem, this problems, and this problem. And now you know
How much
exactly
is your
why.
upsell?
Well, currently what I'm doing is I
After
currently
the VIP. VIP is 97, right? What's the next step on the value ladder?
so the next one is 997.
Yeah. And that's like, how long do they get you for?
Well, I do live events every month. So currently I'm doing promotion like for the holidays. It's like live events for a year. So yeah, and it sounds like ridiculous. So what I'm trying to do
You
is,
meet them every week for a whole year?
no, every month.
Oh, okay. So yeah. So you they know what work they need to do, but every month you keep them accountable to make sure they're on path.
Right. And what you'll realize is most people, I think you know this, most people are not accountable. They don't do any of the work you tell them to, but they're just happy to come to the live events. They're just happy that it's live, because not many people do live events talking about AI. I mean, sharing with you the newest marketing sales strategy and the newest prompt that your team has created, and then making it interesting, fun, and then people just really like that experience.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so you're finding that even for the people, if they're not gaining enough traction, the fact that there is monthly live event makes them feel like they're in the know. Like they're still, yeah. Because the action takers will always take action anyway. Like whatever you give them, they're taking those action. But then there are the people that are like, they just kind of, I don't know, maybe need time to really marinate that into their mind before they take the action. But as long as they're still within the community, there's still a feeling of they are growing and they
Yes, right.
and the community makes a difference.
Yeah, I feel like it's, us, the entrepreneurs, to help them get over the first stage of entrepreneursness, which is don't be a perfectionist. Don't overthink it.
Yeah, that's the hard
Just post it. Just sell it. If it doesn't
Yeah.
work, don't overthink it, and like just get that offer out there. Just do your first webinar. What are you waiting for? Are you waiting for to improve your sales skills? Guess what? You're never gonna improve your sales
But
skills.
how like I know I know
Right.
consciously and logically we all know this, right?
Yeah.
But if someone's really having that mind block, what do you run through in your own mind to get yourself out of there? If you're like, okay, I've got this event coming up that I want to run, but you're like, have all of these thoughts. Maybe you don't anymore, but if you could try and imagine when you once did, what do you say to yourself to get yourself out of that?
Well, I still have those thoughts simply because I'm never happy with my slide deck. I'm never happy with the presentation, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm always learning new strategies,
Yeah.
right? And I'm actually taking like another webinar course and trying to figure out how I can implement that.
Yeah,
So
yeah. It's a never ending journey, right?
it's never like
So
there's
what do
so
you
many
do?
ways to
How do
to
you
get.
get yourself to take the action? Like, what's your
Well,
strategy?
just sign up. Like just create the event and just do it. Like yours
When
where
you say you create the event, does that mean you make a post and launch it in public and just tell people first? Like, what's that
um
first step? Or do you
the
create an event in Eventbrite, or what's that actual?
No, so when I do the event, which is it's going through like for example, the sales process automation, where you set up automation. So you're set up.
Or
Okay, when a
you
person,
start building the funnel first.
yeah, you would definitely have the funnel first because you have to drive massive traffic to that funnel. You have to
Is
have a
that your
place.
first step? Your funnel before you tell public, like, okay, I'm doing this thing in November, and then you backdo it. Or always funnel first.
Um, well, first of all, it should be the
Sequence
offer,
wise.
right?
Huh?
Right. You should have figured out what you're gonna sell first. And you should also have an idea what the VIP is, because once you start running ads, obviously you want to get some of the money recouped back. Right. So it's you always like offer first.
Offer. So you think of the offer, including your VIP or your upsell. Once you have that offer, you start creating assets, your ad assets. Ad
Um
creative.
the funnel,
Oh, you
right?
start doing the funnel. Yeah. So
Right.
just sequentially, people's working through it. So you start creating a funnel, you'll make the videos, the copy, ChatGPT, do the prompts. Then you work on all the automation or email sequences.
Yes, exactly. The email sequences, and then you do the workbook and all that. But notice I'm stacking upon work, upon work, upon work. And then you're thinking, oh, I had to do all this. And then you never get started.
Yeah,
See,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
what happens, right? So
Yes.
it's just so in a simple way, breaking it down is just first of all, figure out what you sell. Even if you cannot figure out what VIP is, just figure out what you're gonna sell. And then have a simple funnel to get people's info. And then have a really simple email sequence written to remind them to come, and then set a date and just do it. And then in the beginning, there's not going to be much people coming, and you
Yeah.
just got to be okay with that.
Hmm. Do you do for the ad money? Do you do okay, whatever you collect in VIP, you just pump that in, or do you do you inject your own capital?
Well, you always inject with your own capital, and then because some people will take you up on the VIP offer and some people won't. So, but once you do it enough, and then you basically train the pixel to find the right people, then you'll see that you're getting more people purchasing your VIP experience. Then you can immediately put that uh, into the into your ads, right? But in the beginning, if you're afraid to put up your own money, let's say the very first time you run a challenge, if you're afraid to put down $500, you're not in the position to have a business yet. And that
I
is
like
something.
that. I like it when you have like an actual like a benchmark. It's like $500, man. If you're not willing to put that on the line, you
Right.
shouldn't have it.
Right. And that's half of what you're selling, for example. Like if you're selling something that's 1,000, guess what? You should be willing to put in
The
1,000 ads.
ratio being 50%. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, so
And
that's a mindset that people need to go, okay, wait, if you're selling a $20 product, okay, you can do a $10 ad.
right,
But
but
it's
that's
like
never gonna
you should
happen.
be aiming further than that, otherwise you probably will be a
Right.
broke businessman.
Yeah, exactly. And And because it's also asking yourself how passionate about what you're doing. If you know that you're in business not to make money, right? I gotta repeat that. You're in business not to make money, but you're in business to actually help those people who are struggling through what you struggle through. If you're sincere in that, you know that people will want, the right people will buy what you have to offer. Then you're putting the time and you're putting the money, and then it's the long term. Because in the beginning, thinking, oh, I have never done a challenge before, I had to put in $500, and then you're thinking, well, you're putting $500, and then you get, let's say, 50 leads, right? $10 a lead. That's about the standard, right? Then with those $10 leads, whether they come to the event or not, you can follow up. And eventually, if you hit them with enough, pound them with enough emails, eventually buy. And all you need is just one person to buy, and then you made all your ad back.
Do you still feel like email is the way to go?
There
Your
are,
experience?
yes, there are obviously SMS, and there are like, there's like WhatsApp and all that. But I still feel like email is way more personal. And because email allows you to tell a story. See, this is something that a lot of people don't talk
Oh,
about.
because you can put a lot of you can put
Yeah,
you can talk a lot of story. You can't
yeah.
put like a big story in
Oh,
what's
you're getting a text, like you receive a like a 300 word text from me saying,
where it
hey,
fills your whole phone screen, and you're like, what the hell? Did you just like verbal diarrhea on there?
yeah, no, that is right. Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha. Thanks, man. All right, so to wrap this up, any other AI tip before we we jump off?
So what we talked, so offer, funnel, and then follow up, and then traffic, right? Is
Yeah.
basically using AI to create traffic. And people thinking, what is that? So it's traffic from creating content, which is like writing blogs, using the keywords for YouTube. And right now, there shouldn't be a reason why it's hard for anyone to make YouTube videos, simply because you can
Wait,
just,
keyword for YouTube. Do you use TubeBuddy, or what do you use to?
yes,
Yeah.
buddy, right, right. But you use TubeBuddy to test to see how many people are using the keywords. So how do you even figure out the keywords in the beginning? So you use AI to give you a list. And then so a quick tip is you want to create a video about something or content about something. So you're thinking, okay, this is my content. From this content, you, ChatGPT, go online and figure out what are some of the keywords people are searching for that my content is about. And then AI will go through and look at all the keywords. And then from the keywords, you say, okay, now you know the keywords, create some headlines for me. And they'll create headlines. And then you say, okay, now with these headlines, I'm going to take these headlines and let's say drop it into TubeBuddy to see other people using these headlines or the competition from these headlines. That's just for YouTube.
Yeah, cool. I think
Yeah,
that's really helpful. My people is currently doing YouTube content, and we're just starting to talk about the SEO part. The first thing is to get them to be consistent producing content, right? So some of that habit is like starting now. So it's like this is the next layer of information that they need to pay attention to. No, that's really good. That's really valuable. Thank you for walking through the actual step. It's about getting the right prompts in ChatGPT, but it's like the iteration of it. It's like, I think the biggest takeaway from this is like, don't try to do everything at once. It's not like, hey, ChatGPT, give me this whole marketing plan. But it's like at each phase when you get it, it's like refeed it that information it gave you to get the next layer and the next layer. It's like, make it stay as the master and like utilize it, right?
It's like an onion, right? You just keep on peeling, right? And so first, the biggest problem I notice is people don't peel enough of it. And second, they'll peel too much of it. It's kind of like Photoshop. You keep on photoshopping an image until the person doesn't even look like a person anymore. It's like, right? And as an artist, okay, I have done it. Time to freaking post, because it's so easy to create mountains of content, and then you get overwhelmed, and you don't even know what chat session is seen from, and you have to go and find it. Like, so you have to have an idea. Like, okay, set a timer. This is the amount of content, and when the timer ends, you're just gonna use that.
Oh, I like that. The timeout option. It's like, okay, you give yourself an hour or whatever, you go and make the stuff. Whatever the best thing you can produce within this time, it's like use that. Like don't do anymore. Hey,
Yeah, and
how do you organize stuff? How do you get organized? Like, okay, you've got these contents and ideas. Do you batch contents? Batch
um
produce? Or what do you do?
uh it's yes and no. I mean, it depends on what platform. Like for example, for YouTube, yes, I do batches, simply because it's just more efficient and more
Yeah.
effective. But for like Instagram and blog, it's whenever I feel like it. I mean,
Yeah.
I
You still
could
keep
batch,
that free flow when the idea comes.
yeah,
Well,
and it's
how do you keep track of these? I'm not organized enough, I feel.
well, you will categorize it into different things, right? This is where you're creating the pillar of, okay, this is what I want my audience to learn. And
Mm.
then these are the steps to that I want them to go through. And what will giving this content do? So you're always thinking, okay, once people like this content, you need to take their info, you need to connect it
Yeah.
to a lead magnet so that they become your
Yeah,
uh
otherwise it's actually not useful for the audience. We're just like chucking stuff out, but it's like you're not
right,
really helping them if you
right,
haven't given them that next piece of data.
right. I think like the easiest way, like let's say if you're teaching AI, just like here are 10 prompts to help you create your email, sales email. And then it's like for 20 more, join this, uh, you get this
Yeah.
PDF.
You give them the information to show that you are an expert, you know how to do this, but it's like people will always want to know that next level depth, and that's the part that's worth paying for because it saves them a lot of time, and
Yeah,
it's already proven strategy.
right.
and
Yes.
they've tested. I like that because you were this feeds back into how your teaching process, right? Because you were talking about, okay, it's 4 hours. It's like, and you're showing the how. Most people keep the how like completely out, right? But you're like, no, I'll show you the how. You can get a taste. It's like a taste tester, right? You can get a how of how I'm actually doing this. If you enjoy this way of teaching and you already got value out of it, it's like, okay, well, do the
Why don't
rest.
we continue this?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
One of the reasons why I do that how is because most people know that already. Like because webinars been out there so
So
long,
much, yeah.
if you just teach the what, they're like you're gonna get nobody buying because they know what you're doing. So and then other people feel like, oh, if I teach the how, then
Why
they
do they
don't
have to pay for it? Yeah.
right. Well, the thing is, even if I teach you the how, who's gonna like? Are you gonna really do it?
Yes, it's
Be-
the implementation that's the real value.
exactly right. You're always selling the implementation because I can give you this entire master prompt to help you create your business,
Yeah,
and it's what yeah. Once you
how
have that,
many people is actually using it? But it's like if you go next week we do it together, the chance of me sitting down and actually doing it's way higher.
yeah. So I always use the analogy of a course. Like taking a course, if you just bought a course, you're never gonna take it. Like if you're gonna watch a couple
No,
of videos,
we've all bought enough courses and we know they sit there.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Yes, no. What was the same content? Do you use like Slack or Trello, or do you use anything to actually keep a record of your ideas, or how do you keep track of stuff? Of like what
Um,
you post, or do you just let it go and it's like,
well, I just have different folders on my computer. I don't use a Trello. I feel like I should, but I never have gotten a need to um, because I'm always thinking about what am I selling, and what I'm selling, I'm just basically selling a membership, right? A membership account, and then so like, so it's kind of like what's it called? What was it called? There's a there's a software that where it's like the best for creating membership accounts. I can't think about the name.
school?
No, there's another one just for membership. I think like sales process copied it.
Yeah, they do have a community thing inside it, which is
Yeah.
which looks very similar to schools.
Okay. Yes. Just
Yeah.
using that for example. So I will just house everything in that, like almost as a course where it's all resources. So
Or
it's
do you give that resources to your student? or it's just a place you put it on your own?
No, this is like, well, this is once they pay, like once they purchase the upsell. So once they purchase the upsell, it's very simple. They get three things, right? They get all the prompts that in my entire collection. So then it becomes really attractive. It sounds like, wow, it's all the prompts ever that you have? Like, yeah. Right?
Yeah.
And then the second is the training, which is the actual course talking about some of the prompts and you giving examples. And this is all pre-recorded, so it doesn't take up any of your time. And so then the last is just the live events. So when you're doing the pitch, for example, you're just saying, okay, you're going to get all the resources, the live training to show you how to use these resources for your business, and the live training to make sure you're using it correctly every month.
Yeah.
Doesn't that sound good? Like a good offer, right?
It does. It does sound good. I do like that. That does sound good. It like for that price point, and people knowing, I can see how people will feel good about that. Like it's enough that they don't feel like, oh my God, I have to show up every week and get stuff done. Whilst they have the material there to look through it in their own time, but then they have the option of like the commitment, once a month commitment. I think that's doable for most people. So that makes it, that entice them to like look forward to each month as well. It's like, oh, okay, yeah. And before they come into a live session, they probably will be incentivized, I feel, just out of respect and whatnot, to at least have some stuff done, to just, you know, share with people, right?
Yeah. I thought that like, if you, for example, out of nowhere, you pay $1,000, obviously you're more invested. But from my experience, I realized that a lot of my $1,000, for example, clients, they get everything and they come to the live event not doing anything. they just because they feel like in the live event, I'm gonna do it with them. So why do it first?
Oh, yes. I can see what, yeah,
because I make it so easy.
How long is your live events?
You mean paid
the monthly ones?
About 3 hours.
Oh, you really are hands-on getting shit done.
Yeah, I really enjoy it. Yeah, sometimes I know I should be doing it shorter, but I have so much fun. Like I show different type of video clips and different type of examples, and just different type of.
Is it a pretty high show up rate for you?
For the paid ones, yes, but for the challenge ones, for the free ones, obviously I get a lot of people sign up. Like I have an event coming up soon, and it's like what, more than 100 people sign up. But I remember I told you that it's just getting them.
When's your next event?
It's 2 days from today. It's Thursday.
Oh God. I'm like, how fast can I put this podcast out, man? So it's in 2 days, is it?
Oh no, you know I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, that's true. You're gonna do it. You run it. You're gonna run it regularly. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And nice, awesome. Ah, cool. That's really awesome. Thank you for your time, June.
No, yeah. I actually want to ask. So, how can I like support you? You know, and so I know that you do a podcast helping entrepreneurs, right? So, what is it that maybe that after hearing about me that you're thinking, oh, maybe you can help me with this, or I don't know, when you're doing a challenge, maybe I can help you be a guest speaker or something like that. I'm just trying to think.
That is a great question. Thank you for asking. I appreciate that. My immediate plan at the moment is like I am going on holiday this month, just to like balance my life. Coming up though, however, before I go on holiday, I am considering running an event. I'm wondering if AI would fit into that. Let me think about that. But I do want to keep you in mind, because there's a few people that I kind of want to run a bigger event. And I think if we have like different experts coming in, it's going to be really fun. The next event is most likely for me is running an event with a TEDx speaker who works with like billionaires, right? So they've not just like a normal TEDx speakers, but they've got a lot of backing behind them, like real powerhouse. So this should be pretty exciting. And I haven't yet decided if this one is just going to be focused on speaking. However, that I do know that even after speaking though, right? The point of after speaking, or even before speaking, it's like the funnel is required though. How will people know about your event? Like once you have the guts to conquer the speaking fear or presentation skills or showing up to be a host, right, for your event, it's like you still need a funnel to get people to show up to that event. So it will tie back in. So definitely, yeah, we'll talk more in terms of what that next step is. I actually don't know yet because I'm talking to this person tomorrow. So but what I love how you asked the question, because I think every time we have these connections, we form these the people in our memories, like, oh, they are good, they have these skills and they have these skills. And then when we do the next thing, it's like you have people in mind of what to do. Like my students are currently starting to learn the building funnels. Some of them have started to learn event. We're doing YouTube. They've just launched their podcast this week. So I'm getting them to go across to learn all the skill set first. But then the next level, it's like they need to go deep on these ones. But I want them to have like all the things so that
foundation, right?
So that, yeah, they have at least across and not get bored, right? Because if I just get them to go deep in a funnel, they'll be like, oh my God, are we still doing this? Oh my God, we still doing this, right? So
funnels are really boring if like,
right, we get
create a landing page. Just create a landing page.
Yeah. But I think once they see how everything connects, they'll get really excited to go deep. And I think I would love for you to come in for those things, like maybe like a masterclass or something where like, okay, now we deep dive into that. Now you know these things, you deep dive into this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Oh, I can't wait. Thank you so much for this. And you know what I would love? After I see your guide, maybe we can do a second one of these. I reckon if I be a good student and apply what I'm learning through this, then we can have a conversation of like, okay, so I did this and I did this, and like what I've learned, I wanted to see, like, you know, take the actual learning, apply it, and then we can perhaps have a conversation of like, take two, what happened from this conversation?
Right. Yes. So the guide I was going to give you is we talked about MidJourney, right? So I'll give you that guide, and then I'll see what other just I mean, we can communicate by email, like what kind of type of prompts you're looking for, and then I can give you some and you can try them out.
Sounds amazing. All right. So if anyone wants to connect with June, what's the best place they should go?
It will be easyaIchallenge.com.
easyaIchallenge.com. Easy as in EASY, or
Yes,
is there something
right.
funny? Yeah. Okay, just asking, you know, people have different spellings sometimes,
Yes,
right?
I totally agree. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Awesome. Amazing. Thank you so much.
Excel in